Evening,
Yes,
sir.
good evening. Good evening, Savi.
Okay, I think it's been up to a week. Last time we met was last week Wednesday, or I met again this week Wednesday. That's about 7 days. 7 days, yes. So we will continue from where we stopped. So this lecture will be our lecture 13, which was supposed to be on Monday, but since it happened that our class came in on Monday, and Monday was there was no class on Monday, so we'll but it doesn't matter. Okay, we'll still cover the necessary. Okay, doesn't really matter. So in today's class, we'll be talking about Django. We've heard about Django. I've been saying it repeatedly. Okay, so we are going to start it officially from this class henceforth. Okay, so today's class will just be an introductory class to Django. Nothing much, nothing complicated. We are going to talk about the what is Django and how to install Django. Okay, and so before that, okay, a quick reminder. So I'll be showing this page from this class forward, okay, so that we keep this reminder in mind, okay, so that we try to stay up to date in the Slack, okay, to avoid problems, right? So we should be reminded that on our Slack we should put up a clear profile picture, okay, and then we should put up our put up sorry your current stage icon, and then you should identify your track, okay. If you're in Python beginners track, then it should be there, okay. Identify that on your Slack, and please don't one track to one learner, okay. Try not to play smart, right? Try not to play smart because there be consequences, right? And I don't wish for any of us to be victim of that, okay? So we should stick to one track, okay? If you are here, then you should be here, right? Shouldn't you shouldn't be on two tracks, okay? So that if you are caught, there will be consequences. Then, all right, the recent update now is the promotion mark has been increased to 75. Okay, has been increased to 75. So believe me, you have to step up your game. Okay, you have to step up your game. You have to if a task is being given, please put in all your best, all your effort. Okay, because if I think track previous tasks before now, okay, where most people had 60 on the dot, right? But 60 was actually the mark for promotion, okay. But the mark has now been increased to 75, okay. So for someone that had 60 in previous tax, okay, you have 16 in from next tax, okay. Um, chances is that you might not get promoted, okay. So please, I'm begging, okay. We are good, okay. I believe we are good, and I know that we do our very best, and I don't wish for any of us to drop, okay. I wish for all of us to make it to the end of this camp, okay. So please step up your game and do your tasks properly, and aim for high scores, okay. Aim for high scores,
Sir,
okay.
sir, I wanted to ask that is it possible that we can see our scores so that we know where we are?
Okay. I don't know, but I'll make findings, all right? Then I'll relate to you guys. I don't know if it's possible for you guys to see your score. Okay. I don't know. So if it's possible, I'll let you guys know. Okay. If possible, I'll let you guys know. But
Okay, sir.
okay. So once within your task, please make sure that you're aiming for higher scores, up 75. 75. Okay. So before we move into today's class, because today's class is going to be really short, okay, really short because nothing much. We've talked about Django before now, so we just do a recap, okay, of what Django is. So before then, I said that I'll try as much as I can to solve our tasks, previous tasks, right? So we will do that before moving into lesson for today, okay. we try to solve the task that was given from task 1, 2, 3, and 4, I think, yes. And then we'll see where we can correct ourselves and try to make our code looks good, okay, and much better than the ones we've written, okay. I'm not saying that the code that you guys wrote are not good. They were good, okay. People had 100, people had 90, people had 95, okay. The code was good, they were great, okay. So, but since people insist that we should solve the task here, okay, so we just go ahead and solve it here, okay, for those that insisted, okay. All right, so I'll pull up the task. I'll show my full screen now. Okay, I've shared my full screen. So, all right, so this was how I grade you guys tasks, okay. I split it into 4 sections, okay, and I grade you guys based on this. Comments had 20 marks and the user friendly had 20. Then it actually solved the problem itself 40, and then structuring. I said that this was a bonus. This structuring was a bonus because Python will just structure that for you automatically. And Python won't let you write an unorganized code, okay. Python won't let you do that, okay. So the 20 marks there was just a free bonus for everyone, okay. But this will change, okay. This marking, this grading system will change because the cutoff points now has now been increased to 75. So I have to structure this, okay. So, but for the purpose of today's class, okay, I'll be using this system, right, to solve our previous tasks, right. So probably in our next class, I'll relate to you guys the new grading system, okay, of how I'll grade you guys tasks, okay. Then you guys can know how to write the tasks in order to meet the minimum cutoff mark, okay. Because honestly, I don't wish for anyone to get to be dropped, okay, for any process, for any reason. I don't wish anyone to be dropped, okay. But it doesn't mean that if you send in code that doesn't meet the cutoff mark, that I don't know, magically give you marks, okay. I won't do that, okay. I won't do that. All right, so for the first task, I will bring it up here, right? So this was the first task that was given. I'll copy that to my Python ideally. So I'll copy this to my Python IDLE, and then I'll press this. I'll cut this one. So I'll put this in the comments. I'll comment this. All right. And okay. So this was tax 1. All right. This was tax 1. Tax 1. Okay. So the task was for you to ask a user for a temperature and then ask them what unit, Celsius or Fahrenheit, right? And then that the temperature is in, all right? And then your program should be able to convert that temperature to the other unit, all right? Let's say if a user inputs a temperature that's in Celsius, all right, we should be able to convert that to Fahrenheit. And if the user input this in Fahrenheit, we should be able to convert this to Celsius, okay? So assuming and to solve this task, right? Because one thing about programming, okay, there's no specified way, okay. There's no specific way that your code must follow this structure, okay. But the way people write their code, they write code based on their thinking, okay, how they think, all right. So there's no specific way, okay, of writing code, okay. But what you should know is that your code, okay, should be able to solve the given task, okay. Your code should be able to solve the given task, all right. So what I do is before I actually go into writing the entire code, okay, what I do is I write out little algorithm, okay. Like algorithm, it means a computational steps, okay, steps that are involved in solving a task, okay. That's basically what an algorithm is. The steps involved in solving a task, all right? So let's say that assuming you were to write a code that where a user leaves his house to a school premises, okay? That algorithm would differ, will differ depending on who is writing the algorithm, okay? And because someone can say, okay, fine, I'll wake up in the morning and then have my bath, put on my clothes, and then walk down to school. Okay, that's the person algorithm. Okay, and someone else will write this, will write the same. Will try to solve the same task. Okay, but different algorithm. Okay, someone might come up with something like I woke up in the morning, brush my teeth. Now remember the first algorithm, there was no brushing of teeth. Okay, but in this other one, someone decided to add in brushing of teeth and then taking his bath. And then in the previous algorithm, the person said the person would walk down to school. Okay, and then probably in this other algorithm, the user might decide to make use of a taxi down to school. Okay, so this algorithm differs from whosoever he's writing them. Okay, so there's no specific manner, steps, or procedure, okay, to solving a task. Okay, solving of tasks is dependent on who is writing that code. Okay, but when writing these steps, okay, we should have that. We should comment on our code, make it friendly, and at the end of the day, we should actually solve the problem. Okay, so I can say that in my own algorithm, okay, in my own algorithm, I put here algorithm, all right, algorithm, all right. I could say that my step one, all right, of this algorithm, all right, that my step one of the algorithm is I wish to, okay, grade the user. Okay, it's not compulsory. Okay, like I said, it's different. It differs from whoever is writing it. Okay, so in mind, I decided to, first of all, I want to grade the user. All right, to grade the user, okay, and then in my, and I'm come here and say step two. And my step two now, I decide to get integer value from user as temperature. Okay, as temperature, sorry, as temperature, right? And then I'll just copy this and keep editing this. Then in my step three, right? In my step three, what I want to do is, now you know that when writing this algorithm, okay, it's not compulsory to write it. You can move straight to solving the actual task. Okay, it's not compulsory to write it. Okay, I don't grade anyone for doing this. Okay, it's user preference. Okay, it's, if the task is complicated, I would advise to actually break it down. Okay, by writing out your steps that you want to be involved in solving that problem. Okay, so in my test step, what I want to do is ask the user in what temperature, so in what temperature units, okay, in what temperature units, okay, was the given integer value. Okay, integer value, right? Then after that, my step 4, what I will now do is, step 4, I will now go ahead and I'll go ahead and then perform my computation, okay? Perform computation. Sorry, conversion, okay? Conversion. All right, so now with these few steps, all right, I've been able to actually solve this problem, right? I'm going to grade the user, get an integer value from the user as temperature, and then ask the user in what temperature, in what temperature, in what temperature unit was the integer value, okay, was the given integer value. Then after that, I now perform my conversion, either from Celsius to Fahrenheit or from Fahrenheit to Celsius, okay? So I'm not actually write this algorithm again for the next task, okay? Like I said, it is user preference, okay? If you already, because these tasks are simple tasks, okay? All right, might be difficult for some people, okay? But if it's that simple for you, okay, then there's no point of you writing out these steps, right? Because these steps, you know them in your head already, right? So you just have to go on and then type in your code, okay? But if someone finds this task difficult, right, I would advise to do this, right? Take your time, list them out step by step, and then perform your coding, okay? So if I go ahead and execute this file, nothing happens because what? The same. Nothing happens when I execute that file. Why? Anyone have an idea? Okay. That file did not execute because nothing happened, because every code we've written so far there is comments, and Python does not execute comments. Okay, Python does not execute comments. So first of all, I have to greet the user. Then how do I greet this user? How do I know the user? I have to get their name first. Okay, so I'll get the username, and this should be a string, right? So since this is a string, I'll just use the inputs, right? And I'll go ahead and say enter your name, right? Enter your name. And there it is, okay? The next thing is to greet the user. So I'll just go ahead and print. Let me go ahead and put this up there, okay? So next thing is to go ahead and print the greeting itself, okay? And says, I'll say hello, hello. Since these are strings, so I can go ahead and concatenate, okay? Hello username, that's the name being given there, and then announce welcome, in comma, and then welcome to our conversion platform, okay? Platform, right? Okay, so now I've put the user, and then what next is to get the integer value, right? So as temperature, right? As temperature. So I'll just go ahead and declare as temp equals, since it's an integer, so I can go ahead and use eval, okay? Eval, all right? But probably if we still have time, I will talk about it. There are certain keywords called int, string, float, and list, okay? If time permits, I might just introduce them. It's simple. So, but for now, I'll just use this eval for now, right? So if time is still on our side, I will introduce the int, string, float, list, keywords, okay? Keywords, and I can show you, then I'll show you how you can use them with this input function, okay? Input keywords. So go ahead and we input, and then I'll say enter your temperature, okay? Temperature, right? Now, if I leave this way and send this information to the user, right? The user can come in here and say, enter your temperature, and probably type in something like this. right? And user types, okay, then you put it there. And user comes in and type in something like this: 100 Celsius, right? 100 Celsius, 100 Celsius. Okay, we know that this can crash this program because this is no longer an integer, right? This is no longer an integer. So I have to specifically let the user know that I need an integer value there. Okay, that has to deal with the user friendliness now, like how easy it is to use this site. Okay, so now I have to specifically tell the user now I need an integer value. Okay, so now I can pass in that information probably within a bracket or construct a nice English that will make sense to the user, which the user might understand that he or she needs to put in an integer. Okay, but for me, what I'll do is I'll pass in this information in a bracket. Right, so I will say integers values only. Okay, now when the user sees this, it's easy for the user. Okay, it's easy for the user to understand. Okay, as I here, I have to input my temperature, but that temperature must be an integer value. Okay, it's easy now. Now you've passed that information to the user. Okay, it's easy for the user to now use this platform now. Okay, it's now easy for the user to use this platform. Now we have to get the unit of this temperature. Okay, you have to get the unit of this temperature, right? So now,
Hello, sir.
okay.
Sir,
Question.
in the last input, you put a M there instead of N.
Where?
In the last input, the term.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. That would have given us a syntax error. Thank you very much. So now we have to get the unit of this temperature, right? So now I can go ahead and name this unit, okay? And then how do you wish to get this unit? Okay, so now what most people did was most people made use of, they said, okay, if user enters C or big C, right? Then some people made use of F, or some people made use of F or big F, okay? Well, others made use of you have to actually type the entire stuff out, the entire Celsius and Fahrenheit out, okay? Some people made use of this, or okay, some people made use of Celsius and some people made use of Fahrenheit, okay? Fahrenheit, right? So some people made use of either small c or big C. Some people made use of F or small f, okay? Some people made use of Celsius or Fahrenheit, right? Well, it all works, okay? It worked. But at times, people that made use of this, okay, or this. Now, what they did was, what if a user can't actually spell this? How do you solve the task now? Because if a user can't spell this, right? Because we have to, when building a software like this, you have to think in a user perspective. You have to assume certain users that might use this, okay? Because a kid of let's say of about 7 years, right, might want to use this app if you are deploying it, okay? Now, that kid might not actually know how to spell Fahrenheit, okay? Or probably that kid might come here and start this thing with big F, okay? That kid might come and start this thing with big F. Big F has spoiled everything because what you're getting at the back end is you're using a small f. But then the user comes in and then use big F. Problem. Now you can't solve it. The program runs correctly from beginning to the end, but haven't solved that task. Okay. The program runs from beginning to the end, but haven't solved that task because remember that Python is case sensitive. Okay. So the way I would work, if I was to write that code, the way I would have done this, because to make things easier, okay, people have been going to ATM machines. They are used to numbers, okay. They are like they just like numbers, okay. So what I would do is before that unit, right, I'll come up here and then I'll print, okay, and then I will print, and then what I will print is I will come here and say 1, temperature, okay, in Celsius to Fahrenheit. Now you see it took me time to actually reason the spelling of Fahrenheit. Okay, then I'll copy this and then paste here, and then do the second one to temperature from Fahrenheit. Sorry, in Fahrenheit. Okay, temperature in Fahrenheit to Celsius. Okay, to Celsius. Now when a use, okay, then I can come above here because users can be very funny. So let's just put in another means of making this thing easier for them. I can now say enter 1 or 2, okay, and then I'll go ahead and display this 1 for temperature in Celsius to Fahrenheit, or temperature to or Fahrenheit to Celsius, right? Then I come here. Now I don't have to bother myself, right? Since Python is case sensitive, right? So now I don't have to be expecting a string, right? So now there's nothing like big one and small one. One is one, right? An integer is an integer, right? So instead of getting strings of f or small f, big F or small c, or the entire spelling, right? I can just get an integer value, okay? An integer value. I just get an integer value, okay? And what I will put here is enter, okay? Enter. And okay, right now this makes sense, okay? This, because with this now I've been able to kill the problem of a user misspelling or doesn't know the spelling, or probably use the big F where you shall use small f. Okay, now I have killed that problem now, right? Now I'm not interested in numbers, since numbers do not have small number and big number. Okay, numbers is one is one, there's no big one, small one. Okay, one is one, right? So now I've been able to greet the user, get the integer value, and then find means of getting the temperature unit. Now it's meant for me to perform the conversion. Okay, the conversion. And how will I do that? Right, let me shift this up again. How will I do that? Right, so now I gave the conversions as f of this and c of that. Okay, so I'll just copy this, right? I'll copy this and comment this on that and this. All right, I'll comment on this also. And okay, so that's both of them there. Right, that's both of the formula now. Now f is equals to 9 over 5c plus 32, and while c is equal to 5 all over 9 into bracket f minus 32. Right, I tried to make this formula as simple as possible. Okay, now if you notice, one of that formula has parentheses here and here. I now add that parentheses here, like in this ones. That's because already this operation will work. Okay, will work in it, like will the order of operation there will work correctly and give us the correct answer. Okay, if I had left this out of this brackets, this thing wouldn't have given us the correct answer. Okay, remember the order of operation. Remember BODMAS. Okay, BODMAS, right? We said this in our Python class, but we made use of PETMAS, right? I said PETMAS in us, all right, which was parenthesis, exponentiation, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Okay, so now, but if you look at this formula, right, now the first thing that will happen in here would be, since there is no parentheses in that place, all right, since there is no exponential there, now the thing what will happen there will be a division, right? So this will happen first, and then followed by a multiplication, which is here, right? After this have happened, that answer now will now be multiplied to C, and then addition will now happen all together, right? Now that formula had no problem. Okay, now what people did was they went ahead and put this, because since there was a parenthesis here, people came here and did this and added a parenthesis here as well. The moment you did this, you have changed the order of this parentheses. Now this will happen first, okay, and then this follows, and then multiplication, which won't give us the correct answer. Okay, that's why I went ahead to give us this formula the way it was. Okay, but people still went ahead and added parentheses for me. I had to change it myself and try to see how to make the code even solve the answer, because the way I marked this task was, I had in mind that 100 degrees Celsius, right? I had in mind that 100 degrees Celsius, right, is equals to 212 in Fahrenheit. So once I execute your program, I'm inputting 100 degrees Celsius. The moment I see something else here, I just know that you have tampered with this, with that formula there. Okay, so now the conversion. So without wasting much time again, we'll convert. And how do we do this, right? Since this is a kind of like an optional kind of thing, okay, like a conditional kind of stuff. Now, what we use would be an if else blocks statement, okay? So now, first of all, you want to check for if, right? If unit is equals, not equals, this double equals to 1, right? So to 1. Now I have been able to, no need of me coming to say if unit is equals to small f, and I'll do small f here. And now went ahead and do, or if unit is equals to big F, or people still did or again and did for Celsius and Fahrenheit in full. Now I have shortened that code, right? I've shortened that code to just 1, okay? To just 1, right? So now if it's 1, that means temperature in Celsius to Fahrenheit. It means that we are solving for Fahrenheit, and when solving for Fahrenheit, we use this formula, right? F equals 9 plus that and that, right? Will give us the formula from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay, so now see it. So now what I'll do here is 9 divided by 5, and then the temperature itself, which is temp. Okay, this will give us an error, so we'll give asterisk. Okay, that's multiplication. Okay, and then what I did again was plus 32. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and print. Go ahead and print that. What am I printing? Okay, what am I printing? I am printing that temperature, right? The temperature you inserted. Okay, that the temperature you inserted in Celsius, because it's in Celsius now. That if for 1 now it's in Celsius, right? That your temperature that you inputted was now in Celsius. That's if you choose 1, because temperature in Celsius to Fahrenheit. So the temperature you inputted in Celsius, okay, in Celsius is equals to, okay, is equals to result, okay, in Fahrenheit. Okay, some people just left it like that. They just printed the result 212 what? How would the user, what if the user has this short-term memory that he couldn't remember what she chose, like what she chose as the current unit and what she's converting to? Okay, you have to remember is that, okay, that what you put was in Celsius, and this is now the result in Fahrenheit. Okay, in Fahrenheit. Okay, and you have to think for all possible ways the user can think, okay, and try to help them, okay, and help them. So now this result is not here. So I'll assign this whole expression to result, okay? And then we print that out. So just test run this and we save, all right? So now remember that 100 Celsius is 212 in Fahrenheit. So for any reason that we don't have 212, then this formula is wrong, all right? So we execute this. Now you say enter our name. I am putting Savior, okay? Putting Savior there, and it says hello Savior. What it makes sense when you go to ATM, you see welcome to UBA ATM, welcome to Zenith ATM, okay? All those kind of things. They welcome their user, like create this awareness. Let the user know, okay, with this software, what is it doing? Now with this, it says that welcome to our conversion platform. Where does it still make sense at this point? So I'll just do this for now. I'll make sense and I'll put something else. Welcome to our temperature, okay, conversion platform, but it could be any kind of conversion. So I have to specify what kind of conversion. It's a temperature conversion platform. All right. So I'll go ahead and put my name there, and it tells me welcome to our temperature conversion platform. Next, let me enter your temperature, and now I can see a boldly written integers values only. Okay, for any reason that someone would see this information and go ahead and put something else, then I cannot know. Okay, but at least you've passed the information to the users. Okay, so now I go ahead and put 100 there. Okay, and now in enter 1 or 2. For that is one has temperature in Celsius to Fahrenheit or temperature in Fahrenheit to Celsius. So now I don't have to come and type in the Celsius and think of how to spell it correctly. Now 1 is 1. I've been pressing 1 in ATM machine. I've been pressing 1 in several places. So I'll just go ahead and press my 1 there, and then it gives us 100 in Celsius is equals to 212 in Fahrenheit, and that was how I graded you people. And that was how I graded. Once I put in 100 in Celsius, if I don't see this, then automatically the other one too would be wrong as well. Okay. Now some people too, what they did was they mixed up this formula, right? They made use of this because the person said, because I said C is equals to this. Okay, the person made use of C here, right? That C means that you're solving for F. Okay, F is the variable there, like is what you're solving for here. Okay, F there. So it's this one is what I'm using for F for the Fahrenheit, and this one is what you're using for the Celsius. Okay, so from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay, so people mixed up that formula, use the one for Celsius for Fahrenheit and made use of one of Fahrenheit for Celsius. So now I've targeted my 40 marks. Okay, the aim was I've targeted my 40 marks, and I've been able to make this app usable, like user friendly and easy to use. So you don't have to think of how to spell. You don't have to think of how to use small c or small f. Okay, now it's user friendly. With this 60 marks, I have passed already. So what I'm looking for now, this one is 20 marks now. But on this one, I said that is bonus. So that's 80 marks. Okay. Now what I want to do now is commenting to have my 20 marks, and that's 100 marks. So I'll just come here, and when I say comment, I don't say comment and all from line to line. You make the code look messy, like to look nice. Okay. So I'll just come here because commenting is for the program. Okay, you don't have to comment for me to understand. It's for you that programming to understand. Like when you look at this code, or comment it in a way that if someone else look at the code, okay, the person should also understand. So what I will do here is probably I'll just group all this. Okay, just group all this. So okay, I could say here could be greetings, all right? Because here is the greetings, and then here I could say that this other one gets, I said that here gets temperature, okay, and units. Okay, that and then here now I would now come here and I'll say conversion to different conversion to different, to desired units. Okay. Now this thing makes, if I carry this code and look at it from here to here, I don't need to even look at through this dark code. I'll just see greetings. I don't know that everything that's under here is just greetings. Then when I just see get temperature unit, I don't know that everything from here will get the temperature and the unit. Okay. And then when I see this conversion from desired to desired unit, I just know that everything that falls under here is either converting from one unit to another unit. Okay. So now with this, I have my full 100 marks. Structure is free 20 marks. Usability, user-friendly, 20 marks. I've solved this problem, 40 marks. I've commented, 20 marks, 100 marks gain. Easy peasy, okay? As was easy as that. You know, people had it, so people had the 100, okay? People had 80. People that had 80 are people that have a good interface, solve the task, free 20 from structuring, but they not comment on their code. Okay, you not comment on your code. So now I'll run for the other one, elif. Okay, elif unit, okay, equals 2. Elif unit equals 2. I'll just copy this, okay, and then just change the writings there. All right, so I'll go ahead and tap this up. Okay, so now the formula here was to convert from Fahrenheit to, this one converts from Fahrenheit to Celsius, right? So convert from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So this is it. Now I'm solving for C, for the Celsius. So I'll just copy this down here and make use of it. Okay, so now the formula is 5/9. Okay, 5 divided by 9. Okay, then in brackets, okay, in brackets is the temp, okay, the temperature itself, the temperature that was given, okay, temp minus 32, okay. So I'll take this out. Okay, so now what I have temp in Fahrenheit is equals to result in Celsius. Okay, in Celsius, right? Someone has written on my screen. So now I'll put in one more check. Okay, I'll put in one more check, and that is the else. Else, if the user does not put 1 or 2, put in something else, because users can be very funny. Okay, users can be very, very funny. Okay. So I'll go and I'll go ahead and let the user know that he have inputted, you have entered, okay, and invalid, because it's invalid at this point in our program. I have entered an invalid input. Okay, then I'll now say restart. Oh God, restart the, what's going on, the program again. Okay, start the program again, and I will now let them know that I so much appreciate them for using this. Because after, if you go to an ATM after join, what does it know? It thanks you for using their ATM. Okay, it's a way of appreciating that, okay, you've used this application. I would love to see you again. Okay, it's not compulsory, okay, but at least it makes it like it's captured this real world kind of scenario. Okay, so I'll go ahead and let the user say thank you for your time. Okay, thank you for your time. And I think I'll go ahead and print that out here as well. Print that out there as well. Print that out here as well. So with that, okay. with that, with able, int object not callable, but probably use comma. Line 39. Syntax warning. Okay, that's a warning. Okay, that's a warning. So that's a warning. So okay, so what I will do is I'll just add that in the asterisk, okay? Because that is actually a multiplication. So we run this and it's gone, okay? It's gone. So now we can put in our name here, okay? And then it tells us welcome to our conversion platform. Now enter your temperature in integers only. Specifically, I've been told in integers. Then I'll go ahead and put 212 this time around, okay? So I'm expecting that I should see 100 degrees Celsius, okay? So this time around, you go for the second one, temperature in Fahrenheit to Celsius, right? And I have 212 in Fahrenheit is 100 degrees in Celsius. And it makes sense. Thank you for your time. You see, it makes sense. It captures that real life vibe, okay? That real life vibes is there, okay? So if I run this and then probably go ahead and input a wrong input, okay? A wrong input. Let's say I put in 100 there. And later, because users can be very funny, it's still users, those people can be very funny. They will see enter 1 or 2. They even see options for 1 and 2. They will go ahead and put 5. So you have to let them know that they have entered an invalid input. We start the program again. Thank you for your time. Now it's friendly, like it has this real life scenario there, okay? You have this real life scenario there. Okay? And also you've solved the task, you've commented on your task. And now with this 100 marks, promotion pro max, that is it. Okay, so I think we'll be solving one task for our class because that solving this has actually taken about 1 hour of our time. So I'll use the remaining about 30 to 40 minutes to talk about what we have to do for today's class. Okay, so I believe that was easy and that was simple enough and understandable. Please, if someone has question with that, can go ahead and ask your question. Someone goes on my screen. So question, any question? Any question? Okay.
Yeah, yes, Avi. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening,
Yeah,
sir.
my question is this: when we are putting it on we are making it a real life project. Not every user know what is called integer. It's only, I believe, maybe when you call it's only programmer, because we are not in their shoes. Some of them are not know that they are referring to a number.
Okay.
So in that case, what else can we put there?
We can make it easy for them because you can come here and say integer values only. We can even put example there for themselves. You can put example self. You know, these people can be very funny. You can put something like 2. Let them know that you mean number, okay? And then just leave dot there, okay? Okay. So with that, it makes life easy for them. Okay. Any other question? Or probably if they don't know, you can still come here and say integers or number. Anyhow, just pass this information to them, okay? Let them get the information. So you can say integers or numbers values only. Okay.
Okay.
So, any other question? So that is that. Okay, you can add yours. You can even spice up this app and make it very wonderful. Okay, you can even come here and do wonderful design. Like let's say you can come here and do something like you can say print. Okay, it's just the vibe. Okay, the vibe is there. Okay, you can come here and do something like this. All right. Let's just say if I can make it look good. Okay, so copy this. Paste this couple of times. Press this again. So I'll just cut this one out, okay? Okay. And then same thing happened here. Okay. Print. Right. And then this last print. Okay. All right. So here I will come here and do something like let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is spacing, and then I say temperature. Temperature, okay. Conversion. Okay. Conversion dots form. Okay. It's the vibe, okay. It will not be that, okay. It's just have to put anything you wish to put there, okay. Anything at all. So I'll just go ahead and space this till I have like 5. So I have this in the same line as the others, okay. I think that's the same line. So I'll just tap this in small and reduce this in. Okay. Let's run this and see how it works, how it looks. So I'll go ahead and print this. It's nice, you know, it's beautiful, it's wow. Okay, temperature conversion, not conversion. Conversion. Why having problems spelling this evening? Conversion. Okay. All right. So if we just tap this in small and save this and run. Now you see it's wonderful, it's beautiful. Okay, it's just the vibe. Okay, just capture that real life scenario. Okay, it's good. Okay, it's good. Not if it's compulsory, but if you, it's a good practice. Okay, if you keep doing it over time, you can't actually write your code if you don't have to pass the right information to the user. Okay, always aim at passing the right information and provide possible means to make the information easy for them to understand. Let your product let user not cram the usage of your application. Like what I mean is that before the user can use your application, the user has to go back, cram how to spell Celsius and before using your app. Okay, make things easier for them. Okay, and always pass the right information. Okay, so that is that for that tax. So with that, if you have done that, congratulations, you had your 100. If you had 80, that means your interface was like your user friendliness was good, but no commenting. Okay, if you had 60, then you had 60. It's because of two things. It's either no comment and the interface is confusing. I even mean that used it, I'm lost. And also probably you've either changed this formula and I think it's not giving me a wrong answer. I have to come and change it. That changes now. I have to take some marks out now. Okay, it won't be fair that someone that used the correct formula to solve it and you that use the wrong formula and you that temper with the formula. If I correct you, I have to take some marks out. Okay, I have to take some marks out, even if it's 2-3 marks. Okay, at least I have to lose something. All right, so that is that. In our probably in the next class, we will solve the second tax, this tax here. Probably in another class, we'll solve this other one here as well. Okay. All right. So I believe there's no question. I believe there's no question so far. All right. So that is that for Python IDLE. You might not actually be using this IDLE from this video henceforth. If you're using it, we are coming back to either solve a task. Okay, so I would recommend, I said in our last class, that those people that were using Anaconda, okay, if you're using Anaconda, I would advise please install Python itself. Install the Python itself, okay, and remember how that was done. You head over to their website and then you install it, okay, and then you install it. You install that. That should work. And okay, so that we can be on the same page, all right? So we can be on the same page. Then another thing, someone has unmuted himself. Okay. Okay. So what is Django? All right, we've been talking about it. We've been saying it for classes, for the past classes. We've been saying Django. What exactly is Django? Okay, what exactly is Django? Right. So Django is a Python web framework. It's a framework for web application. Okay, for developing web application. Right. If mean that we use it to build applications, web applications. So let's assume that we are going to which site. Let us pick up any site and see. Let's pick up any site. Let us find one site. Blog. Okay, let us find any blog online and let me show you what I'm trying to say here. All right, so now this is someone's blog. I don't know what the blog does, okay, but this is someone's blog. Okay, this is someone's blog, right? This is a website, right? This website has this design here, right? Now all these are front-end design, okay, built with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now where does Django fit in, right? Let's assume that this website was to be built using Django. Where does Django fit in, right? Or what is the purpose of Django, right? Now, if you look at this block, right, we have something like sign in. Okay, are you aware that if let's assume that we sign up for this page, for this site, okay, and then we sign in. I doubt that this button will be there, okay? Probably this button will change from sign in to probably log out. Okay, now how is that done? Okay, how do we know that someone has actually signed in, okay, or is on our site and has actually logged in his account? Okay, now that's Django. That's where Django fits in. Okay, we use it to write server-side code. Okay, now the front-end designers have designed this. Now we come in at the back-end developer using Python. Now what we do is we write the server code for this page, okay, for this site, right? Now what happens is that when someone signs in, we change this to sign out. And how do you actually know that someone has signed in? Now the person has to sign up, that is put in his details, okay, and send these details to our server, to our database. And how do we get these data and save it in our database? That's where Django comes in. We use Django, we get the data and save it to our database, and then the user comes back, okay, to log in, and then the user is required to put in his username and password. Now, how do we validate to see if these two things matches? And then we actually logged in the user in real time, like in real life. Okay, that's where Django comes in. Now Django offers different Django offers us different functionalities, okay, like authentication, templating, user registration, okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, as we proceed with this in this track, we'll get to see the functionalities that come alongside with Django. Okay, so like I said, that internet class will just be an introductory class to Django. Okay, so now anytime we sign up and then we get authenticated, right? That's our server-side code. Okay, those codes are either written in a particular programming language. Okay, it could be in Python, and it could be in PHP. It could be any language. Okay. So now, what's actually a framework? Okay, because here we said that but Django is a Python framework. Okay, what's a framework? A framework is like, it's more like a container of already written code. Okay, now this code has been written. Okay, has been written for us, and we can actually go ahead and, okay, let's say that you want to authenticate a user. We can go ahead and write that code from scratch. Okay, but some developers sat down, came up with what we call a framework called write out certain code that means web application. Okay, that we are likely to use this certain functionality. Okay, now these developers sat down, created a framework. Okay, and then inside this framework they embedded a code, different codes. Okay, that we use in web development. Okay, now those codes, sum them up, gives us a framework. Okay, and since this framework supports a Python programming language, they now name this Django. Okay, and now you can now use this framework instead of starting instead of writing a web application from scratch. We can use this framework to build web app rapidly and with speed. Okay, now if you head over to your documentation, okay, this is the documentation, this is Django documentations. All right, so if we look at the first page of the doc, all right, look at the first page of the doc. So now when you head over here, this is what you get. Okay, this is what you get. Django documentation, everything you need to know about Django. Okay, it's everything is in this documentation. Okay, but I will not actually be using this documentation to teach. Okay, but I'm just letting you guys know that it has a documentation, because when I first started out in Django, okay, this documentation was kind of confusing for me. Okay, I don't know for you guys. Okay, probably someone else might pick up this documentation and it looks easier. Okay, but I'll cover basic almost everything that you will need, okay, to build up a web app. Okay, because believe me that even up to now, I have not actually used everything in these documentations. Okay, but I've used most things. Okay, so during as far as this class is concerned, I'll teach you everything that you need to build up a web application rapidly. Okay, with limited time. Let's assume that you have a contract that you're almost running out of time. Okay, I would recommend you to use Django, because these functionalities are already written down for you. Okay, just import them and then you use them. Okay, so I was thinking that I will see another definition for Django, but not seeing any definition here. Okay, so that is that about Django. It's what we use to write the server-side code. Okay, it's a Python framework for writing a full-stack web application. Basically, we are writing the server-side code. Okay, the server-side code. Right? We are not actually designing this. Right? What is that? Okay, we won't be using Python to design all this, add color, give this wonderful fonts, do this design here. Okay, no. That's not our problem. That's the front end developer's problem. Yeah, but okay, but to be a full stack, you have to learn this. Okay, so I will recommend. Okay, but in your spare time, pick up a front end course. Okay, and study. Okay, so that you can you have so that you can stand of more advantage. Okay, than someone that knows back end alone. Okay, if you become a full stack developer are people that actually knows both the front end and the back end. That means that they can use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to design this, and then use Python to work this functionality. Okay, work all these functionalities there. Okay, work all these functionalities there. All right. So now, another thing. Let's assume that for certain reasons, let's assume that this here came from came from the back end, okay? So, and this cell has been hosted now, okay? And then for some reason now, you don't want to be a Neil Patel again. You want to be something else. Probably you want to change this name here, all right? Now, as a back-end developer, this can be done easily because you can just change this in your dashboard and this will just change it. And rather than coming back to your HTML code to find the div that's holding this one, now come and change it. Now, what if you change it again like 7 times in a week? I have to do it like 7 times in a week, okay? But with Django, you can actually change that from your back end and as easy as that, okay? Yes, Django supports what we call REST API. We can use it to write APIs, okay? But that will be covered in this track because since this is a beginner's track, our APIs will not be covered, okay? So we just deal with Django, okay? Just Django web application building with pure Django, right? We won't be writing APIs, okay? Well, I would recommend for you to learn it, okay? It's good, okay? But as a web dev, you have to know wide. You have to know wide, all right? So now to work with Django, you have to install Django on our machine. And how do we actually install Django on our machine? All right, we've done this before in our previous class. We have to type in the command pip install Django as easy as that, okay? So like I said, we won't actually be coming back to this ideally. So I would recommend you can download Visual Studio and set it up, or you can go ahead and download Atom. I think I have Atom here. Let me check if it's there. Okay, I think I've got something else. Atom, let me check if I still have that. Atom. I think I've uninstalled it. Okay, so is that you download Atom, VS Code, or Sublime Text? Okay, like any editor of your choice. Okay, but I wouldn't recommend using this because this IDE, okay, only comes with pure Python modules. Okay, pure Python modules. Okay, so I would recommend you to either download those 3 editors that I've just listed out there: VS Code.
Can you write it?
Okay, I'll go ahead and write it. I recommend you to download VS Code. Okay, VS Code. That's Visual Studio Code. There's another editor called Atom. There's another editor called Sublime Text. Okay, Sublime Text. Okay, there are other ones. Okay, but I've used these 3, and they are good. Okay, and they are really good. Okay, so I will say for you to use it. Or PyCharm. Well, I don't know. I haven't used PyCharm before. Okay, so the thing is that as far as you can actually
PyCharm.
Okay, as far as you can actually edit your code there's no problem.
I use PyCharm also.
Yeah, as far as you can edit your code there, okay, on PyCharm and save it, and then it doesn't give you headache, then no problem. You can go ahead and use it. Okay, PyCharm, you can go ahead and use it. Right? I've not used it before, so I don't. But if you can just give it a try and see, okay, can give it a try and see. Okay, so Python. Okay, someone said I should recommend a Django material. Someone said I should recommend a Django material. Okay, a material I would recommend is actually a paid material. Okay, it's a paid material. It's in my probably in my next class I'll get it for you. I forgotten that material's name. It's a PDF. Okay, okay. In our next class, or probably within the weekend, I'll find a way to pass that material to you. Okay, so it's a PDF. Okay, and you can also use the docs. Okay, but I didn't start with docs. That docs is the first time I saw that docs, it was scary and cumbersome, and I don't like reading stories. Okay, so that's why I didn't use the doc. But nowadays I use docs. Okay, I use docs. Okay, I use docs. So that the editors, I would recommend you guys to download it. Just Google it and that will work. Okay, so first, now remember to use this, you have to install Django, right? You have to install Django, right? And to install Django, we run the command pip install Django. And I wouldn't want to run that. I won't want to install that in my machine, okay? Because I don't want that to be a global dependencies, because this Django is that it's been upgraded over the time, okay? So I don't want that to crash my project, okay? So I want it to be local to a particular project, okay? And I said that to do that, you have to install it in your virtual environment. And like I said in our last class, that I love my virtual environment to be within my project folder, okay? With folder that I'm going to work with, okay? So I'll just go ahead and create a new folder, okay? Okay, like I said, that's documentation is, I'm telling you, it's cumbersome, okay? It's cumbersome with unnecessary things in it, all right? So I'll find a way and pass that material to you guys, okay? Pass the material to you guys. So I'll go ahead and create my folder, okay? So I'll go to my document, right? I'll go to my documents here and I'll create my project folder, and I'll call this how should I call it? Python. Good. Okay, project. Okay, Python project. Right. Okay, so that's my project. That's my project folder. So everything I have to work will be in here, right? Will be in there. So I have to navigate to down here. I have to navigate down here. Okay. Okay, there was a way you can actually open this in your. Okay. So what you can do is you can actually copy this location. Okay, since I'll be working here, I can copy this location there and paste it here. I think I didn't copy that. Oh God. So I'll just do it manually, okay? I'll do it manually. So that project folder is in our document. So I will cd in, oh God, sorry, cd into document, right? Cd into document, all right? And then cd into Python project, okay? All right, so I'm currently in that project. Now if I perform a dir, a directory, nothing is there. Right, nothing is there, it's empty, nothing is there. So I'll clear my screen for now. Everything is CLS, I think. All right, so now I have to create my virtual environment, because I don't want Django to be installed as a global dependency, and I know that we know how to do that. I know that we know how to do that. So I'll run that real quick. Python-m. Okay, venv, all right, venv, and then I said I like calling my project this same name, my environment that same name. Okay, so run this. Okay, so we're waiting for that to create. It's blinking that on my command prompt. Let me expand this, so I believe you guys can see that perfectly well. Okay, so now that has been created. Now if I run a dir directory, now I have venv there, all right? So now, please, under no circumstances should you put your project file inside a virtual environment folder, okay? If open this folder here, it's a folder. Don't come inside this
hello,
folder.
Kristen.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, question.
About the virtual environment. So that means that I can't install Django in a virtual environment that already has Python files in it. You know, when I use PyCharm, and
Okay.
the virtual environment is automatically created. I have project.
Okay. Okay, I put it inside the virtual
And then I'll
environment.
install Django in that same project.
I install Django.
Yes.
And if that works, okay, if that works, okay, no problem. But
Okay.
I wouldn't advise, okay, to put your files in here. But I think the way Python works, okay, Python works almost like, okay, please mute yourself, please. Okay, so I think the way Python works, okay, it works almost like Conda, okay, because the way Conda 2 works, you can create your virtual environment from your Anaconda, okay, and then have your files there, okay. What happens that Anaconda will separate those files, okay. It will do that on its own, okay. Like you don't have to tell it, and Anaconda will separate those files on its own. Like the virtual environment will only contain like packages, okay. I think Python should work that way as well. So I believe it works that way, okay. So if it's working, then fine. Okay. So now I have to activate my virtual environment, and okay, VENV, okay. Script, all right, /backslash activate dot bat. Okay, I think spelling error. Activate single C. Okay, and you can see here at the left hand side that our environment has been activated. So I'll go ahead and install Django here. Pip install Django. Okay, pip install Django. And that should install real quick. Okay, today my network is good today. So now, if you notice now, this Django has go ahead and install other dependencies, all right? So that means this dependency is required for Django to work properly, okay? For Django to work properly, those other dependencies there is necessary, okay? It's necessary. So wait for while it's installing that. I don't know why that is taking time. Okay, but that's taking time. And as usual, I will cut it. So I have another virtual environment, okay? But that's so what I'm trying to demonstrate here. I'm trying to demonstrate how you can install Django, right? So that's how you run that command, okay? For some reasons, I don't know why mine is taking time. You run this command and it will get Python installed. I remember I only ran this command. I only ran this command when my environment was activated. Okay, when my environment was activated. That was when I ran this command. Okay, that was when I ran this command. So always install this Django. I will advise, it's not compulsory, but always install it. Let it be local to your environment. Okay, let it be local to your environment. So I have another virtual environment that I had Django installed. Okay, so I named that environment somewhere. So I'll just bring it up and show you what I want to show you. Okay, this environment there. Okay, so that environment was someone's environment. Okay, I'm trying to explain virtual environment for someone, so I made a simple illustration for someone. So I'll just go ahead and cd into class. So I will go ahead and activate that environment. All right. So I'll go ahead and activate that environment. Okay. So the environment name here was let's find it again. Was okay. Please pardon the name. The name was I don't know. So it was that and VENV, okay, and script, okay, and then we activate dot bat, okay. Okay, I have to actually move to where that environment is, okay. So it's my document, and within my document, it's a Django and then proxy, right? CD Django, okay, and then I can put in another part there, and I'll just migrate it as one. So I'll just rerun this code again, and okay. Now we have this environment activated. This environment has Django installed. So I believe yours has installed. So if I go ahead and run pip list, okay, pip list, and now we have Django here, right? Forget about other dependencies like Pillow. Okay, we might if there's need for us to install it, we will install it in our future lesson. So that's Django there, right? So now, how do you actually know that Django has been installed? If you run pip list and then you see this, and then you see this Django there, okay, then it is actually installed. Okay, so another way you can do it is you can actually check for its version. Okay, you can check for its version. You can run python-m Django, okay, dash version. Okay, dash version, and you have 4 point. So if you have this version, it means that this dependency is installed on your machine, right? So now this Django came alongside with other key how do I put it, other sub commands. Okay, it came alongside with other sub commands, right? So if you run Django dash admin, right, dash admin, right, you will see the other sub commands that it came along with, right? And we have the test, start project, start app. All these are sub commands, right, that came along the installation of Django. Okay, so now how do we actually start? Let's say that you want to start a new project. Okay, we want to start a new project, we want to start our new web application, right? So we want to start a new project. Now what we can do is we can come to we just use this for now. Okay, we just use this for now. So just assume that this folder is not here. All right, so we want to create our own new Django project, right? We can come in here and we can say new project, okay? Or you can say my site if you're actually building a site, okay? So you can say my site, and then inside this folder, we can put in the required files, like files that are required in order to start a Django project, okay? But that will be a long process, okay? That will be a long process because Django has this command. Django has this command that will automatically create that project folder, and then within that project folder, it will go ahead and install the necessary files for the Django project, okay? And that command is this command, start project command, okay? So now to start a new project in Django, we just go ahead and we type in Python, because okay, use the Django admin, okay, Django admin, okay, and then you want to use this sub command under here, and that sub command is start project, okay. It means go to this current directory that I am now, okay, create a new project, okay. It will be a new project folder. Then inside that folder, put in all the necessary files that I need to start a Django project, okay. So now if I come in here and I type in Django start project and then the project name, right? So I call it my site, right? I want to call this new project my site, and then I click enter, okay. Now this folder has been created for us. If we go ahead and run dir, we have my site, okay. We have my site. Now if you come back here and we open this folder, right? Now we have another my site folder within this my site. This other my site folder is known as the project folder, right? This folder contains these files, the setting files, that's the project setting files, the project URLs, okay. These are like base settings, like the project base setting, the project base URLs file, and as well as this manage file, okay. So now in order to make use of this, right, in order to make use of that file, we have to change directory into that file that we've created. So we have to change cd into my site. We have to move into that site. Now we are currently within our project file, right? We are currently within our project file, all right? Yes, yes. In order to start a new project, okay? So instead of it to manually arrange these files, okay? Because inside these files there are certain codes, okay? So instead of it to manually arrange these files on your own, you have to come into the command prompt and key in that command, Python manage Django admin start project, and then your project name. Then after that, you have to change directory into that project folder. Okay, now if I now I'm inside that project folder, now I can go ahead and do dir and see how many files are there. Now I have the manage.py file and I have the my site folder. Okay, so now you can go ahead and open this file. Let me go ahead and open that file. So I can go ahead and open this file in my Visual Studio Code. I can go ahead and open this file in my Visual Studio Code. Okay. So now, so these are the files that have been created for us. Okay. This file comes alongside with written programs. Okay, written programs, lines of code. Okay, so we can manually create this site and write all this code from scratch. Okay, all this code we can write it from scratch. So that's the beauty of a framework. This code has been written for us already. You have to tweak it to how we want it to use it. Okay, so we have the setting file, we have the URLs files, we have the WGI file. Okay, so now this other folder is known as the project folder. Okay, like the project base folder. Now all the files within here are known as the base files. Okay, are known as the base files. Now you'll be wondering, what do we use this manage.py file for? Okay, so now we use that file to run certain commands in our code. Let's say that you want to start up our server. Okay, let's say that you want to start up our server. We need that manage.py file. In fact, we'll be using this file from today henceforth to the day we launch this application. We'll be using that manage.py file. Okay, we'll be using it to execute some certain commands. Okay, right? So now we've created our project folder. We've changed directory into that project folder. Right? Now we have to start up our server. Right? Now, how do we start up our score? This is a web application. Okay, we have to start up a server. All right, and then how do we do that? We use the command Python manage. Now that's the file that we are using now, the manage.py file. Right, so we use this file to execute so many commands. Right, and then we go ahead and run execute the run server. Right, go ahead and execute the run server. All right, so now we have Python manage.py run server. Now if we run this code, now we have this this output here saying that we have 18 unapplied migrations, which there's no problem with that. And it says run manage.py migrate to apply them. Okay, which we'll talk about that in a minute. Now we see here, it says that Django version 4.0.4, that's the current version of Django that we are actually using in this code, is using settings in my site settings, right? So that means this server is running based on the settings in this folder, based on these settings files, right? So that server is running based on the settings written in this file. Right now, this code, we now write this code ourselves. This code has been written for us. Okay, and then our server, we've activated it using the command Python manage.py run server, and now this server is actually up and running. Okay, it's as easy as that. The server is up and running, as easy as that. Now to access this server, it says that this starting development server at http colon slash slash, and this just like your local host, okay, your local machine. Now to access that server, we can copy this link, okay, and go to our Chrome, and we paste it in our Chrome, and then we have the server running, and it says you've successfully installed, the installation worked successfully, okay, and then it tells that you are seeing this page because the bug is equals to true in your settings. It means that this server, that any change we make is from that this server is actually working from a set that says debug equals to true. Okay, so now that place there, debug is equals to true. Now we are seeing that now debug is equals to true. Okay, meaning that this server is running from our settings.py files. Okay, that's as easy as that. That's how Django, and that's how you start a new project, and that's how you have your server running. Now, if you've noticed, this cursor here is blinking. Okay, it will keep on blinking like that until it means that this server is running. Okay, so now you can, even if you refresh this, okay, and go back to our command prompt, we have a new get, right? That's a get, and we've made a get request to http localhost port 110.169. This number might be different in your own machine, but it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. So if you have this running, congratulations, you've installed Django, you've opened a new project, and you have your server up and running. Okay, you have your server up and running. Now if you look at this,
sorry, were we supposed to set this up, or you're just showing us something?
We're supposed to set this up. Oh, don't worry. Oh, you've started Django. You're not a Django developer. If people have started Django, don't worry. I'll recap that real quick, and we'll see how we do it again. Okay, so I will just show you one more thing, and then I'll recap. Okay, I'll show you one more thing, and then we'll recap, and that will be the end of our class for today. So if you look at this file, right, the file that when we started a new project, okay, it's added these URLs .py file for us. Okay, now within these URLs, we have what we call URL patterns. Now in this pattern, we have path/admin, right? This is how we create new URL. This is how we do mapping of URLs. Okay. We map a particular URL to a particular page. Okay. Take for instance, if this page that we did here, this is a URL that maps to this page. Okay. If I go to somewhere else, let's say I come to look at this URL, we have, I don't know the name, is it neilpatel.com, how to start a blog. Okay. Now if I go to here, now you see that URL have changed, and now this URL now maps to this page. What's wrong with this block? So I'm not blocking this one. So now you see that now that URL have changed, and now it maps to this page. Okay, so now that's how we do the same thing in Django. You map a URL to a particular page. Don't worry, we'll talk about that in future. Okay, but this one is a default URL. It comes alongside with Django, right? The moment we install it, like when we start a new project, it creates this folder and then add these URLs for us, meaning that we can go to our own server and then we navigate to where it says admin/to admin panel, right? Let me find that again. It's admin URL, okay? Admin, okay? So now this URL maps to a particular page, okay? So now that page we not created, it came alongside with Django, okay? So now where are we? So now if I come here and I do like /admin, okay, /admin, and then I hit enter. Okay. And then I hit enter. That's change. Why isn't it not changing? Let's see what's wrong there. Okay. That's our Django sessions. Okay, Django sessions. So now, okay, in order to we're having this error because if you notice, when we run the command Python, all right, Python manage .py, okay, .py run server, right? We had this warning here saying that we have an 18 unapplied migrations, okay, that we should run Python manage.py to migrate them, okay? So we just run that command. So that, remember I said that this when your server is up and running, okay, we have this cursor blinking here. Now to stop the server from running, right, we press Ctrl+C and that will stop that server from running. So we go ahead and make this application. This we apply this Python manage.py, this command here, in order to apply these migrations. Okay, so I'll run this command there, and we should have bunch of stuff saying okay, and then we have bunch of things say okay. It doesn't matter. Okay, it's not our own problem, right? So now we have to run that command again. And then we see that we don't have that warning again. We don't have that warning again. So if I refresh this, now we have this page. Now the page we went to, right? That page went to now, the /admin page, okay? This is that page, right? It brings us to this page. Now this page, this page is being mapped to that URL, okay? This page is being mapped to this URL, right? And this page is now the Django administration, right? This way the administrators, okay, make changes to their site dynamically, okay? Don't worry, we talk about the domain page later, right? As along the process of teaching this course, right? We talk about this page, okay? But for now, you can go back to our homepage, because this is basically like the homepage now, right? Because this is basically like the homepage, right? So, and this page is default by Django, right? By Django, this page is default, right? So we can change it, right? We can change what this URL is mapped to, right? We can change. So with time, we talk about that. So that's that. So now I'll recap again. Okay, I'll recap again from beginning, right? So now I said that in order to use Django, right, we need to install Django, right? Okay, so now in order to install Django in the server, we have to run the command called pip install Django. And I said that it is advisable, okay, to run this command within our virtual environment, okay, meaning that this dependency, this Django, this package should only be accessible if this command, if this environment, okay, is being activated, right? So now once that is done, okay, I said that this Django came alongside with sub commands, okay, there are commands that came alongside with it. And if you run Django -admin, we see this sub command, right? We see this sub command. We have the test server, test, start project, start app, okay, and so on. There are much of them, right? Much of them here, very much of them, right? So that's the command that came alongside the sub command that came alongside with Django, right? So and I say
okay,
that.
so I installed. Sorry for cutting in. I installed Django already.
Okay.
But as you are talking now, I found out that it went to a different folder, not my visual environment folder.
Oh, like the Django is not as like if you type in, if you do pip lists.
Yes.
Can you see Django there among those?
Yes, it's there.
Okay, then it's fine. Then
but it's not my visual environment. That's the confusion I have.
It's fine. Okay,
it went to
okay.
store
so
in
now
my.
We have Django installed. Okay, so now we are ready to start a new project, right? We are ready.
Yes.
So okay, if what I mean is that if you deactivate your environment, okay, your virtual environment, and then you run Django, okay, Django dash admin, okay, we should have that this is not recognizable, right? Mean that this Django is only accessible when we have this environment turned on. That's what I mean. But if it's running with this environment turned on, then there's no problem. It does not become like a global dependency,
Okay.
which you can go ahead and do pip uninstall and uninstall it, and then install it back in your virtual environment. Okay?
I'll do that, yeah.
Okay. So now I'll activate mine again back. Okay. So it was, don't mind the name of that environment. So, okay, VENV. Okay, and I say script, and I say activate. Okay, dot bat. Okay. Oh, sorry, I have to cd out, and then run that again.
Sir.
Okay. Question.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
question. I do want to find out. To use Django, do we always need to be online? Or can we just use it offline after downloading it?
No. Once after that download it, you can use it offline. You can use it offline. Okay, so you can go ahead and off your data. Don't off your data now, so that you won't give the class. But after the class, you can off your data and it will still be accessible. Okay, as far as it's been installed on your machine. Okay, you can use it offline. So now we have our environment up. We have Django installed. What again? So we are ready. Now we are ready to become a Django developer. So now someone comes and be like, okay, please develop me a site. Okay. Now that site becomes a product, all right? It becomes a product as a whole. Now you want to start a new product. And in order to use Django, there are certain configurations in your files that you have to do, okay? And which are these? You have to give that folder a name, like a product name, okay? Like the product name can be Python website, okay? And then within that project, you have to put in all these files here, because these files is required for Django to work effectively. And then you have to come in into these files and write this code line by line. That one now is for the URL. You now come, then you now come and create a new file called settings.py. And then you now sit down and write all these lines of code again. And then you now do for this other one and for this other one as well. Okay, this will be cumbersome. Okay, so now to automatically create a project folder, okay, to automatically start a new project with all the files, how should I say it? With all the files arranged or created for you, okay? That's when you come in here and you run the command Python, where is it? Okay, Django admin start project, and then your project name, okay? Your project name. Once you do that, this Python will automatically, sorry, Django, because he's no longer in Python hands, now in Django hands. So now Django will automatically create a new project folder called this my site, okay? And then within this folder, it will put in all the files necessary for it to work effectively, okay? So I believe that one is understood now. So now we want to start a new project called my site, and I run this command, and Python and Django has now created that folder for me, depending on which directory I am, okay? And then once that is done, okay, I have to change directory into that folder, because since that's the folder, okay, that I want to work with, okay, since that's the folder I want to work with, I should be inside that folder, right? Okay. So now, once that is, I believe you guys are doing that, right? So now, once that is done, once that folder has been created with the files, okay, now you now change into that project folder, my site. It could be anything. Yours. It could be a web app, chatting app, anything, okay? But once that is done, you have to change the directory into that, like you have to be in that folder, okay? Reason is that so that you can access this file, because we need this file. We need this file to do most things. We need this file, okay? And then this file here got created when we did that Python manage dot migrate. This file got created, meaning that this file, this file here, the middle file comes is database. Okay, that's a database file, db.sqlite3. Okay, now don't worry about database. You now have to create your database using database programming language, and which is SQL. Okay, you don't have to know SQL. Okay, that's the good thing about Django, right? Like Django does not need you to know how to write SQL. Okay, Django does that for you automatically. Okay, you just write a Python code, and Django will convert that Python code to SQL code and then create that database for you. Easy as that. Okay, so this file got created when we did that Python manage dot migrate. Okay, that there's no problem with that. So now the aim that after creating this project folder, change directory into that folder so that you can access this manage.py file, because this file will use it to execute commands, the start server command and other commands which we'll be doing. Okay, so you have to be in that folder to be able to access this. Right, so you come here and then you now do cd into that project folder. So now I'm now in that folder, right? So now I'm now in that folder now. Oh, okay, so I'm now in that folder now. So now once you're in that folder, you want to start up your site. Okay, you want the server to be on. Okay, so that once you make changes in your code, okay, it should show on the server. Right, this server here is just like if I go back now to my server and execute this, it tells me, it's giving me a site can't be reached. It shouldn't actually, because it's not on. So it tells me site can't be reached, which, well, it's popping up again. It should show site can't be reached because the server is down. Okay, this server is down, right? So for some reason it's not showing me that. So I'll just close my Chrome and open it again, and I'll run that command again, and then we have sites can't be reached. Okay, that's because the server now is done, right? It's done, right? Now this server, it's more like it's a local server. It's on your system. Okay, I can't access it from my own side. Okay, I can't sit on my own side and run this and look this up and then see your own side. Okay, because this is local based. Okay, it's based on your system. Okay, we've not yet deployed this app for usage, right? Okay, so now what server means is it's showing you how this web app will behave or will look like when you actually deploy it for production. Okay, so now see it as the internet but on your own system. Okay, how will this app behave when I deploy it? Okay, because when you deploy it, they are sending it to a server. Okay, so that means when you deploy it, anybody can have access to that site, right? So now, but for now, you have to run it in a local server. You have need an environment to run it in a way that it looks like you're accessing it from an internet, all right? But this one is kind of like a machine-based internet, right? So that's what local server is, right? So now, to activate that local server, to turn it on, we run the command after we might have created our new project and changed directory. Now we want that server to be up and running so that any changes can be updated on that server, right? So now we run the command python manage. Now you cannot use this manage outside this directory, right? So that's why we need to change the directory to here, so we can make use of this file, manage.py file. And then this file used to run certain commands, and one of that command is to start our server. And how do we start our server? We run the command run server, right? This command will start up our local server, right? Then if we run this, I think we have a problem there that says no such file, right? Let's see what's going on there. Okay, manage.py, we are in a directory. So okay, we made a mistake in our spelling of manage. Okay, is manage, all right, .py, and then we have this, meaning that our server is up and running. So now we can access the server from this link here. This link, you cannot send this link to someone because it is machine-based. This link is machine-based, okay? So now you can now come here and refresh this, and then our server is up and running. So over the time, we're making changes, right? Now, when someone comes to our homepage, this shouldn't be showing, right? This is a default page from Django, right? Now we want to change this page. We are going to change this page to our own page, okay? To a page where if, like, for instance, that block that we did, the block we did, right? Like this block that we did here, and we click. Now, this block took us to a particular page, right? So now over time, we'll be changing ours, right, to actually show our own page, okay? Not this default page, right? But if you have run yours, if you've done yours up to this point, then congratulations, you've installed a Django, you've started a new project, and your server is up and running, okay? That's a good start, okay? That's a good start. So this is a default page, right, that is being mapped to this URL, okay? So now over time, we will change where this URL maps to, right? We'll do URL mapping, okay? That's something as routing, okay? So over time, we will change this, right? And then we can know that, we can see that here that our server is still up and running, okay? And this server, our server will always be running from our settings.py files, okay? So if we for any reason we have an error, a wrong code in this setting, it can break our setting, and every other files links down to this setting file. Every other file that we'll be creating along the array, okay, we always link back to these settings files, okay? So this setting files is more like, shall I say, the mother file, okay, the mother file, right? So now this file will control other files, and the server will now run from these files, okay? So that is that for Django, right? So now that's our server, and this file as well came alongside with another URL, okay? To tell you how nice Django is, okay? You do not have to know how to write SQL, right? Now you don't have to know how to write code in SQL. Python will actually convert a Python code to a SQL code and then create tables for you, because as a programmer, as a web developer, you need tables and database to store information over the time, right? So now remember, in our raw Python code, what we've been doing, we get the data and store it in a variable. Then once we stop that program, okay, those data are gone, okay? But here we can actually get this data and save it in a variable. So even if our site is down, right, those data are still there, right? So that's the beautiful thing about Django. I said that this installation, this new project came with this URL. All projects, each time you start a new project, it will always come with this URL, right? With all this page, with all these files, right? All these files are like default files. They must come with it once you start a new project, right? So I said that this is how we map a URL to a particular page, right? So this one here is a default one, right? A default one, the one that came alongside this project, right? Once we did start project, that URL came alongside with it, so we can navigate to that URL and see what it looks like, okay? So that URL was the admin URL, and for some certain reasons, I don't know why my system is misbehaving. It's not even my system is misbehaving. I have to be clicking in my hand before it works. So now this is the page, right? Now this page, we did a /admin, but it took us to this page. It means that this page requires us to be authenticated, that is to be logged in before we can access it. So it redirects us to admin page, and then once we sign in, it will take us back to the admin dashboard as well, okay? So that is that. I believe you guys have did that, and you guys understood from starting from installation and to putting your server up and running. Let me know if there's a question So you can call this, so you can end this class for today. Any question? So I believe you guys know how to, you guys understand how to install this package, use it to create a new project, navigate into that project folder, and then start up your server, and then you should have this page, okay? So if you've done that to this page, congratulations, sir, and congratulations, ma. You guys have done well, okay? Because they have done well. So if you have this page, right, then it means that you've been following, okay? You've been following all through, right? So that is that for today's class. That is that for today's class. Any question? Okay, so I believe there's no question. And please, quick reminder again, let me put it back up again. Put your profile picture on Slack, please. A clear one. Put your current stage icon on, please. If you're in stage 4, put in stage 4. If you're in stage 3, put in stage 3, right? And then state your track. If you're in Python beginner's track, please state it there, okay? Let it be known. And please, one learner, just to one track. Don't try to play smart. There will be consequences, please. Don't try to play smart. Remain in one track, okay? Remain in one track, so you don't have to be kicked out of the space, right? So now, also that know that promotional, that promotion mark has been increased to 75. Please, I beg of you, please put in all your best. If a task is being given, put in all your best. People that had 6, I'll find out if you guys can see your score. But people that had 60, I'm begging you, people that had 60 might actually save you around. So you have to put a little more effort of 15, okay? You have to put a little more effort of 15, all right? So that is that for today's class. We'll meet in our next class, and then we continue from where we stop, okay? All right. Good night, all.
Thank you very much, sir.
Right.